Today's podcast is brought to you by Quantrix Modeler Introductory Training, teaching the fundamental foundation that you need to become a Quantrix master. Go to quantrixauthority.com to learn more. Hey, welcome back to another Netcast. I'm Rich Lopez, Quantrix Authority. Fantastic that you joined me today for episode 189, Variance Between Two Time Periods Complex. This is a kind of a continuation of episode 187, where I showed you how to calculate maybe a variance between two different time periods, where those time periods that you wanted to calculate the variance for were maybe inputs or variables. Well, that was in response to a question asked to me by Todd at quantrixauthority at gmail.com. Well, Todd couldn't quite get that to work for me because he had a very complex example. He said he had this comparative analysis matrix that has a boatload of information. It has all these budget categories going down the side here, has a ton of departments, has even a great deal more of locations, and then it has these measures as far as dollars and units and whatnot. He wants to see it by different report keys such as sales, COGS, and gross, and he wants to see it by time period as budget, current, and prior. And what he wants to do is he wants to have these be variables, okay? So that it may be with the current one, maybe it's fiscal year 2017, but maybe next year it's going to be, fiscal year 2018. So how do you make that a variable? Well, looking through Todd's formulas, this is really maybe some Quantrix theory here, but what I'm seeing is I'm seeing a lot of kind of hard-keyed or hard referenced years, like right here, this is a hard year reference. Right here is another hard year reference. Again, here, and then here again is another one. And I'm just thinking, man, that is not how I would necessarily build a model. And the reason why that is because this isn't scalable. If I need to go in and I want to look at a different fiscal year, I would have to go in and change the fiscal year in every one of these formulas. And as time goes on, my model gets more complex. I forget how I built something. I forget where I needed to update something. So having these kind of variables in here is really less than ideal, and I would not say that that's a best practice. It'd be a lot better if you could create some sort of matrix, as I've done over here, that says, for budget, I'm going to use fiscal year 17, month March. For the current, I'm going to use fiscal year 17, month April, and then prior year, it's going to be fiscal year 16, April. And I want my calculations in this comparative analysis matrix to update automatically based off of what I put in there. Well, what I've done here is I've created another matrix called the comparative analysis matrix, and I've got all the same categories as what was in this original matrix here. And I have all these categories linked to where I'm pulling the data from, okay? So I've got an activity matrix, a month matrix, department, location, report keys, measurables, year, and budget categories. And that's the exact same categories that I have up here in my comparative analysis matrix, right? So lots of different categories. How do I get them to link and then read these as variable years? Well, it's really simple, actually. It's a very basic using as. So all I do is I go out and I say, well, my budget is coming from the budget matrix, right? And since all my categories are linked, all I need to say is that I just need to go out and bring in, or I need to create the join using a using as, where I'm using my budget year over here, which is a category, with my year here, right here, which is a category. I think I misspoke. This is an item here, and I'm linking it to a category right here. For current, I would go out to the statement of operations. Again, I would link these items here to these categories of year, of month, and year respectively, and so on. For prior year, again, I'm just going back out to this statement of operations and performing this link. And what happens is let's say that my current budget here is, I might say it's fiscal year 17 of March, but if I go ahead and I make it February, you can see how my numbers just change for me automatically. I'm not having to go in and look at formulas or anything like that. It's really just a basic using as that allows me to have this type of functionality. So anyway, I hope that makes sense, Todd, and I hope that makes sense to everybody. This is really the beauty of Quantrix Modeler. It's not like Excel in the fact that you have to kind of type in and hard code these numbers in. It's really just scalable in the fact that it's almost like an indirect function, but it's not. It's just a using as function. You wouldn't want to use an indirect function because indirect would slow down your performance. Whereas a using as, it's just that simple to do within Quantrix, even though I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 different categories within my matrix. Anyway, I hope you find that useful. If you have any questions about Quantrix, I do hope that you'll reach out to me at quantrixauthority@gmail.com. I absolutely love Quantrix. I want to make you a Quantrix master, and I encourage you to also to go check out the material that I have available at quantrixauthority.com.